The Horizon situation is sadly not very good. We of course just had the Horizon Hunters Gathering reveal and now also learned what this means for Horizon 3. Again, it kind of hurts reading that. So I want to go over how the reveal went, obviously not very good, and also look at what the path forward is, and again, what this means for the next single-player Horizon game. So we start over here at the announcement trailer, because if you use a Chrome extension, you can return the dislikes, and here we see that it has 20,000 likes, but 95,000 dislikes. Now, that's not really what the dislike ratio is. If I, for example, go to my own video that I did on the reveal, 1.1k likes, 132 dislikes, but if I look in the backend where I can see the actual dislikes, it's 101. So the Chrome extension shows more dislikes than there actually are, but I still think it's fair to say that it has like 20% likes, 80% dislikes. So yeah, that's not really good for a new big Horizon game that most of Guerrilla Games is working on. Yes, so this article also went up after the Hunters Gathering reveal. Sources don't expect Horizon Zero Dawn 3 anytime soon. I think they, by the way, say Horizon Zero Dawn 3 for SEO purposes, but of course it should be Horizon 3 because it's not going to be called that. So here, sources tell Kotaku it's still a ways off and not right now. While Horizon Hunters Gathering might seem like just another side project, it's actually the main game many at the Dutch studio are working on right now. Two sources familiar with the state of the franchise told us. According to one source, many of the staff working on Horizon Zero Dawn 3 were pulled over to help with Horizon Hunters Gathering, which Sony is committed to making a multiplayer success. Another source suggests that fans might not see the next true Aloy adventure for 3 to 5 years, which would make it a PlayStation 6 game, though it could still appear as on PS5 as a cross-gen release title. 3 to 5 years. Which means that we're looking at a 2031 at the latest for Horizon 3. Almost 10 years after Forbidden West. Are you kidding me? This lines up with similar reporting by Bloomberg's Jason Schreier, who wrote last week that he believed that most of Guerrilla Games was working on Horizon Hunters Gathering and that the launch of Horizon Zero Dawn 3 was not close. Like, I think that is one of the core issues with this reveal. If you, like me, want the next Horizon single-player game, it's that it's not just a random team making an Horizon co-op game. No, it's Guerrilla Games. And they're even taking away people that were working on the single-player game to work on this co-op game. Now, if this was an amazing-looking Horizon multiplayer game, I would not be as disappointed as I am right now, because I just don't think that Horizon Hunters Gathering is it, and will end up just being a waste of time, resources, and again, means that we will not play the final part of the trilogy for another 3 to 5 years. And that makes me overall kind of worried about Guerrilla Games as a whole, because these are the articles that are going around. The internet has not been too kind about the Horizon Hunters Gathering. So we have Push Square doing polls basically on this game that, again, most of Guerrilla Games is working on. Right now they have over 350 to 400 professionals working on the game in the Netherlands, in the most expensive city in the Netherlands, Amsterdam, and they got like one of the biggest buildings in the city. This game is easily going to cost 200, 300, maybe 400 million euros if everything is said and done. So then we go to these polls, and like, I would put I'm not feeling it. And that is like, this is the PlayStation audience, right? So there's not only Horizon fans, and only 3% of the 4,000 people are saying I'm sold. I'm interested for sure. It's 15%. I really don't know. Like, the majority is already out. Do you like the art style? Like, this is not a great start of your marketing campaign for this game. Now, sure, the reveal is just one element of the marketing cycle. Maybe the test that happens at the end of the month will be very good, and then people are like, oh, it actually plays very well. It's fun to play. Still, though, we've seen this many, many times before. The first time people see a game, they will make up their mind. In this day and age, having like no bumps in the road for a marketing cycle doesn't even guarantee a success. Really, times have changed. There's so much entertainment, so much video games coming out. People are scrolling now instead of playing games. It's really hard to grab someone's attention. So the moment you have to convince people that they will have to play this game, you already lost. We've seen it time and time again. You need to make something that people actually want to play. Those are the only games that are successful right now. And especially for a live service game, it's kind of a snowball, right? If no one of your friends even wants to touch it and you have to convince them to play with you, it's very hard. While if they see our graders and all the content, the viral content that goes around, then the game sells itself. Like Helldivers, similar situation. So right now they got their Twitter accounts, they got like 1,300 followers, they are on TikTok as well with 240 followers, on Instagram they got like 1,600, like this was their big moment. I don't see how they can really grow these followers over time. Basically, I really worry for this game's future already, because I think we've rarely seen, and correct me if I'm wrong, we've rarely seen a game that had like mass dislikes at the reveal trailer, then come out and surprise everyone. So I think the saving grace would have been if they at least had the Horizon fans interested in this, but that even does not seem to be the case. Of course, like, I'm not into it, I'm a huge Horizon fan, I know you watching probably, I've seen the comments, but I also like to go to Arctics. He of course makes amazing Horizon content as well, has shared his thoughts as well, really great stuff. He's been doing polls on his channel. Horizon friends, I have a magic wand for you. Wave it and you can turn Hunter's Gathering into whatever you think it should be. Is there any form of Horizon co-op you would like to play? And basically, 62% says I would be interested in Horizon co-op if it were more like the Horizon Zero Dawn and Forbidden West. Only 6% of the 1.4k people is like, yeah, I'm pretty much like what I'm seeing here for Hunter's Gathering. So I think that's a very interesting thing as well. Guerrilla Games is not wrong for trying to make an Horizon multiplayer game. Their vision is just completely out of touch with what people actually want to play. Like, here, more Horizon fans, how are we feeling about Horizon's Hunter's Gathering? Only 8% says that it looks cool, 20% says that they're skeptical, the majority is like disappointed, and 31% says not for me. And again, this is a Horizon core audience that says that big game that Guerrilla Games is spending a lot of money on is not for me. So where do we go from here? Like, they have the test coming up. I do think they're going to go through with that, and maybe we hear some positive feedback from that. But at one point, I think they have to look in the mirror and be like, what is the end goal here? Because we've seen this time and time again. This is not gonna work out. I predict for the launch a few thousand concurrents. And again, looking at the amount of employees they got working on the project, how much years they spend on it. There's one guy who has worked on it for 8 years. Now, obviously, they really started working on it after Forbidden West, because then most developers moved over to this project. That was still in 2022, so they had a pretty sizable team on it for a long time. So I really think they have multiple options here, but I think there are only a couple that are correct. They can, of course, just go through, they have the feedback from launch, they think, okay, we got an awesome game here, we're gonna convince you why you would have to play it. And I already told you why I don't think that will work. They could also, number 2, be like, okay, the reveal, it was more disappointing than we thought it would be. Like, obviously, them not putting it in the upcoming State of Play and launching it on a random Thursday, they knew that people would be kind of mixed on it, but maybe they wanted to see it for themselves. And as you might know, I was part of a creator council. I showed you the image already with the other creators. I was part of it. We were in the reveal sort of situation. I told them exactly this. I told them that this would happen, and it happened. So they knew. This should not be a surprise to them. So maybe they're like, okay, we had this whole plan. We're going to go back to the drawing board. But I really think we're too far gone already. Like, what they would have to do for people to care, I think changing the art style is not possible. I think changing the characters might work. So adding some Horizon favorite characters instead of like a random old guy. And maybe that works, I guess. I would be a bit more excited about it, but it's mostly for me the abilities and over-the-top nature. Like, I really think they have to completely change the core game for it to appeal to Horizon fans. And I don't know if that will be worth it. And the crazy part, of course, also is that we have this game. Like, as if the situation could not be any worse. There is a game that looks like an Horizon co-op game that I actually am excited about, because this looks like Horizon that we know, but then with different people. And I'm fine with them going for more melee focus. They actually use Forbidden West mechanics and give like interesting twists to them by making the ropecaster like way more versatile. You can hold on to machines, do very cool combos. Again, this looks amazing. Like, that, I think that's another layer of mismanagement, to have NCSoft work on another game at the same time as Guerrilla Games spending all their resources on an online game. Like, sure, it's gonna be mobile, but we've also seen that doesn't really work. Like, I can count, I think, on one hand the amount of console franchises that were turned into a successful mobile game. It just doesn't really work like that. Mobile, the people are different. The people don't want to play like a huge AAA mobile game on mobile. That was kind of like an old way of thinking, but it just doesn't work that way. And this game cannot come to PlayStation because you got Hunter's Gathering, so they're also doing their best to kind of hammer the success of this game. Like, I really think, and this is not good, this is not gonna be pretty, but I really think there's no way for them forward that is not gonna result in a really painful situation with lots of people losing their job and them just hitting a sort of reset button. I think what they should do is go to NCSoft and be like, okay, you guys are on the really right path. This looks awesome, but we know we asked you to make a mobile game. What we're going to do is, we figured, okay, Hunter's Gathering, we tried our like vision. That is clearly not what people want. We don't think people will show up for launch. You guys are going to be the Horizon multiplayer game going forward. And here we have to give you the keys to the PlayStation 5. Make the best possible console PC MMO Horizon experience. And maybe still do a mobile launch, but it's not going to be mobile focused anymore, etc., etc. Here, go do that. And I think, like, obviously there's a big mobile market for Asia, but again, very rarely we've seen games do well. And you got like a Monster Hunter mobile game coming as well. So I really think this game succeeding on mobile also doesn't have a great shot. But I do think putting this on PS5 and on PC as your multiplayer Horizon game, that is the way forward. And then Guerrilla Games, you guys tried it. You go make Horizon 3 now. Get that out ASAP and pump out a great game. Because really, I think if you think about it as well, which is kind of crazy, after Burning Shores, like, they have not really launched a successful Horizon product in a long time. Maybe the Zero Dawn Remaster was successful, but that was kind of like a cheap way to get money. The Lego game, the VR game, it was not a huge success. It did not help expand the Horizon universe. And I would argue that Hunter's Gathering is doing more harm than good. So yeah, I think that's the way forward. And it's not gonna be a pretty way. And maybe I'm jumping to conclusions like way too fast here. Maybe we should see the game through and have it launch. And maybe it can find an audience over time. But I think that would work if it was a small team working on this. If it was a team of 50 people trying this Horizon thing while the rest was working on Horizon 3, then they can launch with a few thousand concurrents and build over time. But I don't think that is what Hunter's Gathering is anymore. They already put so much money into it, and to be able to support it to the extent that is needed maybe to make this a thing that can work will cost them way and way more, and will only delay Horizon 3 further. Because this, I think, is really the reality of the situation. The more successful Horizon Hunter's Gathering is, the longer we will have to wait to Horizon 3. Look at it this way. If you have 350 people at your studio, you launch Horizon Hunter's Gathering, there has to be some sort of post-launch team that is still going to support the game. So if it's successful, you put maybe 150 people on that. Then the remaining people go work on Horizon 3. If Horizon Hunter's Gathering is not successful, you move everyone over to Horizon 3, meaning that it goes faster. Now again, that is a very bad situation because Hunter's Gathering being super successful, I think, is the best case scenario for Guerrilla Games, and I want them. I want the best for them because I love that studio. I love that team. But the reality is different. You really have to make a game that people want to play. And I don't know how they got to this point, but I think they have to take a hard look in the mirror and be like, this is not it. And the more we spend time, money, and resources into it, it's not gonna work. I don't think it's going to work. And maybe I'm wrong, and I hope I'm wrong. Because, again, it's gonna be a very bad situation if this does not work. So yeah, that's the update on the Horizon situation. Of course, your take, more than welcome in the comments down below. Leave a like, subscribe, I will keep you up to date here. Of course, we got the State of Play coming up and way more stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna bring you all the news. I will speak to you soon. Goodbye.